Hello, human family. Thanks for joining me with another episode of Thoughts from the Garage. As you can see, I'm changing this focal point, the scenery. This little section right here of the garage, I'm trying to convert it and make it a little valuable space. You know, you can always use space. And it's just sitting here, and so what I did was I put some tile down. I hung some shower curtains. They're real cheap. I'm not trying to do nothing fancy. And I'm not finished with it. So I'll probably put either a day bed, a settee, futon, or something. And a little table, another side chair. And just make this a hangout spot, either for my grandson or myself. That's to be determined. Because I basically hang out in the garage a lot. And this section where I'm sitting is where I usually just find myself sitting a lot, because I'm still sucking on the darn cigarette. And I'm not going to smoke in my house ever again. And I'm going to get serious about this smoking too. And I don't need nobody to tell me nothing. They ain't got to give me no advice. Well, do the patch, do the gum, do this, do the yada, yada, yada. I know what I got to do. I think the reason I'm lagging on the attempt of quitting cigarettes is because of so much going on. And I know I'm going to have to latch on to Jesus and ride this pony. I did it once, and I know I can do it again. It just means me doing it. But what I brought this video up for was not to discuss my nasty cigarette smoking. It was to discuss people wanting to be the focal point or having the limelight all the time. This is everybody. Everybody is clamoring to be it. You know what I mean? Everyone is trying to be noticed, seen. They want to be blowed up. It's a inward focus on themselves, and they want others to focus on them as well. And something happened with me, and this is what created this thought in my mind. And I'm like, I used to be the same way, so I'm not going to exclude myself at this point. But I have changed, and I'm going to discuss that change. I used to be, I'm sure, just like everybody else, didn't mind having the spotlight or being the focal point or having everybody's eyes on me. But when I started my journey with Jesus, and the more I found out about him, and the more I found out about myself, us, as the human race, it helped me to put everything into its proper focus. Because people have a hole inside of them, especially if you're DFG, if you're disconnected from God. There's a hole inside of us, and we try to fill it up. And in that hole is fear of loneliness, fear of not being loved, fear of not being accepted, just a whole lot of fear about a whole lot of stuff. But when I started my journey with Jesus and finding out who he was, and it gave me a better insight into who I am as a human being and others as well, I realized this hole that everyone has inside of them, whether they recognize it or not, aware of it, is because of being DFG, disconnected from God. And we're trying to fill that hole up, and nothing seems to appease us. Nothing seems to give us what it is we're looking for. And it's going to be that way until you discover that that hole is there because of being disconnected from the vine. And once you connect with Jesus and start your journey, you'll find that hole gets filled properly with the right something, and it erases and do away with that worldly search of being the center of attention, the main focus, the doubts and fears of being accepted and loved, caring and being concerned about what others think or say about you. When you start that journey with Jesus, he'll fill that hole up because you're filling it up with what needs to be there. And it will eradicate, it will do away with all of that crap that was once floating in and out of that hole. Now, my example is going to be using the children when I worked in the school system as a speech therapist. And I serviced the children from kindergarten through 12th grade. And one thing that I noticed with them, all of the children, all of them, and especially the younger ones, they all clamored for my attention. When I'd go off and pick them up and bring them to the classroom, and I'd have sometimes groups as large as 10 when it was like kindergarten, first, second, third grade, and possibly even more. And I'd have them for a period of time, take them back and get another group. But I noticed this one thread that ran through all the children, and it was present from the K through 12. It just emerged in a different way. Now, the little bitties, I just loved them. I loved the little ones so much. They were so cute, the little kindergartners, first grade, second grade, third grade. Their moms would send them to school, and their hair was done, their hair was cut, and their little outfits, and they were just so cute. Now, when they get into the classroom with me, the one thing I noticed was that all of them, every last one of them, they would just be clamoring for my attention, and I know where that stemmed from. Being that they were small, and perhaps at home they may have been the youngest, and all of the ones older probably catered to them and loved on them and nurtured them, and all that's good. We did the same thing with my grands. But when they come out into the world and they leave that little nesting place at home where everybody has made them the center of attention, and they come out into the world where there are more people, now they're vying, they're jockeying, if you will, for that spot where it is just all about them. So it was nothing for me to be in the classroom and I'd have maybe 10 kindergartners, 4 or 5-year-olds, all pulling and tugging at me, and Miss Scott this, Miss Scott, Miss Scott, Miss Scott, and crying or acting out because why? They wanted my undivided attention, and they wanted it selfishly all for themselves, and they would just be running over each other, to get to Miss Scott. Now, the older children, they weren't doing the things the younger ones was more apt to do, like tugging and pulling on me. But the older ones, they would be talking with me, and one would interrupt, or somebody would talk over another, and they just wanted the attention to be given to them, and even to the point of acting out so that they could get bawled out by me, because I would bawl them out. But anyway, with that being said, I'm trying to get you guys to see that all of us, everybody on planet Earth, has a desire to be sought after. Everybody on Earth wants to be recognize or seen or heard or know that they exist. They want others to give them what they feel would make them feel good, undivided attention, the spotlight. And what I want to say is, I was probably the same way back before I discovered Jesus, to a degree. Maybe I wasn't as openly with mine, but when I do a thought and reflection over some things, situations in my life, I can see that too was what my problem was. You want to be valued. You want to be seen. You want to be made to feel important. You want to feel as though you're indispensable. And the truth of the matter is, and this is going to sound really, really heartless, but it's the truth. The truth of the matter is, we're just not what we think we are. We're not that important. In the whole scheme of the situation of this world, the value that we have is zero, especially after God, if we don't have God. If we don't have Jesus Christ, there absolutely is nothing else in this world that is of any value, and that includes ourselves. And so that is what produces a whole. And this whole creates problems, because now you have women and men marrying because they're trying to fill up a hole. You have children acting out, going juvenile, and all of it is stemming from wanting attention. You have now the social media, which everybody has a phone in their hand, because I even noticed with my grandbaby, as soon as the phone is picked up, boy, she goes to pose and strike and pose, and she'll tell me, I want to talk to your friends. So the phone has not made it any better, because now you can just see it more readily. Beforehand, you couldn't see it, but with the phone and the social media platform, you can just see, as you scroll through, you can just see how people are screaming out to be validated, to be valued, to be sought after, to be popular, to be... Now, I know that money is probably another driving force behind that, but a lot of the stuff that I see coming across Facebook is just so ridiculous. I'm like, now, people will do anything to get attention. So the whole that's creating this whole situation is resorting from that whole is there because Jesus is not. Now, I guess I said a whole lot of nothing to come to my point. Everyone has a hole, and especially if they are DFG, disconnected from God. And that hole cannot be satisfied, filled up with anything on this planet that will heal the hole, that will bring you to the place where you feel full and whole. And I'm saying this because I'm speaking from experience. And when I reflect on my life, and I look back at certain points in my life when I was experiencing and going through certain things, and I was thinking, the reason I experienced that, or the reason I went through that, is because of the whole. And now, having Jesus to fill that hole that I have, that jockeying for front stage center is gone. That need to be the center of the limelight is gone. The concern about acceptance from others is gone. The seeking and searching for that someone that is going to profess their dying love for you is gone. And that's a whole nother topic, because I could break that down and talk about this too, because I see a lot of stuff on that. But I'm going to try to stick with this whole and how it can create havoc in your life. As long as we're looking outside of ourselves for completion, I just want to give you heads up and let you know you're going to be disappointed all the way to the grave. You're going to be disappointed all the way to the grave, because I'm here to let you know that the only way that that hole is going to be filled, the only way that you're going to feel any sort of completeness, you're going to have to look for Jesus. Because Jesus is that missing piece. Jesus will show you, without him, you are absolutely nothing. You can't be anything without the Creator. You're lost. You're wandering. You're disillusioned. You're in a daze. And now you're filling up that void in your soul, in your spirit, with a bunch of stuff. And that stuff could be money, material things, people. Oh yeah. You know, you'll go out and you'll be looking for a counterpart to share your life with, and that person, they're looking too, so they're not complete. And when that relationship dissolves and doesn't work out, then you're back to square one. And even if you did find somebody that you could settle down with and make it legal, marriage or a long-time relationship, the sad part of it is, one day, now here goes the Debbie Downer of me. So those that don't like Debbie Downer, I guess you'll be exiting at this point. But Debbie Downer is just keeping it real. Even if you should have that special someone in your life and you all have made each other one, man and wife, or I'm not going to make you believe that I am sanctioning a live-in relationship, because it's not right. But anyway, even if you found that significant other, that's the word I'm looking for. Here's the deal with that. That's good if you found a significant other that you can hang out with and experience life with and travel through life with. That's good. I'm not mad at you. That's good. And that's what God intended for us to do, if that's what we chose to do. But here's the downside to that, from Debbie Downer. One day, you or your significant other will exit here. They'll die. And then you'll be right back to square one, feeling a hole, an emptiness, a big missing part. Because I guess sometimes you could even have a mate, a significant other, and still feel incomplete. Because I imagine there are a lot of people out there in those shoes as well. They have someone in their life, but they're still feeling incomplete. Or they're not totally happy. So I'm going to make this short because I don't want to go into a second folder because then I'll have problems getting this uploaded. I have to go to my editor, and he's not always amicable or receptive to trying to help me, and I can understand that because he works. So I try not to bother him as much as I can, because God knows if I knew how to do a lot of this technical stuff with the computer, man, y'all would be seeing something from me probably 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. But I've been in my little world here in the last few days. I did some projects around the house. I spray painted a little lawn set in my backyard. I did a real bright yellow, and it really perked it up. It was just, looks really nice. Then I potted some flowers and just did some little things like that. Because, by the way, these were my off days from babysitting my grand in the middle of the week. So I try to take advantage of doing some things that relax me. But, yeah, there's a hole in everybody, and that's why people are just clamoring for attention. That's why everybody is either posting on Facebook their pictures 1,000 times because they want someone to say, "Oh, you look so pretty," "Oh, whatever, whatever, whatever," and or that you want someone to think of you in a special way, or you want to emerge from the crowd and just be this something all grand and special that everybody will have all eyes on you. And what I want to say in my Debbie Downer fashion is that you can stop doing all that crap, because it's never ever gonna suffice, and it's never ever gonna reach the whole. It's never gonna fill it up. For one thing, you're not gonna get the attention of everybody, and if you do get the attention, you're not gonna have it very long, and it's just not that important to have everyone's attention or be the focal point. And I'm so glad that with this journey I'm on with Jesus, he has shown me that that is not important, to be validated by others or to be looked at as the center of attention. It's not important, because we are, we're nothing. We're nothing without Jesus. So even the stars show you that. I mean, with all the money that they have, and I know they're happy about the social platform, because now they can get on there and formulate whatever little things they want to do, and people flock to their pages, and they can constantly have all eyes on them. But let me tell you, when that phone goes off or they cut that camera off, they still have to come right back to the reality. The reality is they're still hungry. They're still seeking. There's that hole. And everybody on earth is experiencing pretty much the same thing, and they just don't recognize. They don't realize what it is, what's going on. I'm so glad that I'm 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 understanding things the way I'm understanding them, because it's making life so much better for me. I'm so much more at peace. So when I see it in others, it can be an irritant. And I told you at the beginning of this video that something occurred that made me think on this. And it'll go like this. A friend. Now, we're socializing, and now I'm going to cut that out.